Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Jer Bear. Today's date is Sunday, August 28th, 2022. It is the final installment of August for the Sunday video updates. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jer Bear. Joining me off camera this week is my dad on this couch, and then we've got Amy off camera on the couch that you can't see. And she is waving, rest assured. So I hope you've all been doing well. I'm going to adjust my mic here for a little bit until I get it to where I want it to be. There we go. That should work. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've had a wonderful week. My week in review was busy. I was gone most of the day yesterday. I was all over the state of Michigan. Well, not all over, but, close in the immediate area of around the Tri-Cities. And, so I'll tell you where I was yesterday. So, of course, I live in Saginaw County, so I started in Saginaw County. I end up going through Chesaning. Then I was out in Genesee County, Montrose. And then from there, I ended up all the way up into Reese, a town called Reese, which sits on the border of Saginaw County and Tuscola County. I went out to see the Saginaw Bay yesterday in Bay County. Ultimately, I ended up coming through Bay City. And from there, went through Midland. And then from there, on the way back home, I came through Hemlock and Brant, came back home for a little bit. And then it didn't stop there. I decided that I didn't want to sit home. So I put my last $40 in the tank and decided to take a trip down to Lansing. And I know you guys were at the Owasso Speedway last night, and I went by the racetrack on the way to Lansing, but not on the way coming back from Lansing. But I went through Ovid, and I come up to St. John's, went through Carland. So I was in Clinton County, Shiawassee County, and of course, Lansing is in Ingham County. So I was in Lansing, I was in East Lansing, Meridian Township. So I was pretty much out and about yesterday because it was such a nice day and I wanted to not sit home. So that's what I did. I was all over. So if you count the county I live in, Saginaw, so there's Saginaw, Genesee, Tuscola, Bay, Midland, Clinton, Ingham, and Shiawassee. So I was in 8 counties, including Saginaw yesterday. So I put on some good mileage on my van. I just wanted to get out yesterday. I didn't want to sit around. So that's what I was doing yesterday. I was supposed to meet up with my girlfriend this weekend, but again, something comes up and she asked me if we could, she thought she'd be ready this week and she wasn't. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens and setting up a time to hang out because I still want to see her and I want to meet her son. And I'm hoping that we can hang out, even if I have a few bucks and make dinner reservations. I want to hang with her and, so we can talk and enjoy each other's company. But I got this weekend to do whatever as well. Oh, and I almost forgot. I went to the apple orchard in Montrose yesterday. I haven't been in there in years. I went in the back where they compress the apples for the cider that they make. And it was really cool. I haven't seen it in about 30 years. It was pretty cool to see. Well, was it 30 years? I'm trying to remember. I remember going in there as a small child, but then I also remember going there when we went on the hayride in the pumpkin patch across the road because a disc jockey from 102.5 WIOG was there and he was giving away free CDs. And I still have the free CD that he gave me. I think his name was Roy Moore because he had really long hair in the middle of his back and he wore really cool shades. I think his name is Roy Moore, but I'd have to check my sources. But anyway, I'm rambling on. How was your week, Dad? It was okay? Yeah. And the yard sale that Dad is talking about is for my grandpa's property over there. Still trying to find a buyer. We're going to be having an estate sale pretty soon. And all the money that we make from the sale is going to go towards expenses because, of course, you have to keep electricity going to the house so the well continues to run and pump water and all that stuff. And so it's going to be a little hectic for a while until we get things straightened out. Hopefully we get a buyer soon. Before winter, because once we get a buyer for the house, the property, then it'll be out of our hair. It'll be somebody else's issue. Oh yeah, and I was in Saginaw last week too. So I actually was in the city of Saginaw. I went with my dad to get his prescription medication at the clinic where he goes to get his prescription. So I've been a busybody. Oh yeah. On the 26th. And this is really something that I find to be just really coincidental. Because we were in Saginaw on Friday on the 26th. Now, Grandpa has been gone for 3 months. On Friday would mark 3 months. And we found out that his brother-in-law, Richard James, had passed away on Friday morning. Now, Richard was Martha. That would have been her brother. And he passed away on Friday morning, 3 months to the day that my grandpa died. On the 26th. Yeah. Grandpa died May 26th and Richard died August 26th. I don't know how old Richard was, though. I don't know how old Richard was. He was older than Grandpa. Yeah. I know he was older. Yeah. The one memory I have of Richard, which we called him Uncle Richard, although he really wasn't our uncle, but getting a little feedback from the mic. I don't know why it's doing that. Getting a little feedback from the mic. Hold on a minute, guys. The one memory I have of Richard, which I still to this day I hold dear to my heart. He was sitting at the kitchen table, at my grandpa's kitchen table, and they were drinking coffee. And I walk in and I noticed Richard sitting at the table. And I said, "Well, how you doing, Richard? And I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, Richard?" And he says, "Oh, I'm just becoming an old fart more and more every day." And Grandpa laughed. He laughed. I laughed. It was good. And he had that sense of humor. And now he's gone. Yeah, we're going to miss him a lot. And yesterday, after I got home from my joyride around the state, so to speak, I kind of felt depressed about a lot of things. I kind of felt sad about some stuff because, what's done can't be undone. And I got to thinking about my grandpa. I had a hell of a dream about my grandpa yesterday. And I think that's what set the tone for the rest of the day, because I had that dream and I couldn't get it out of my head. And that's why I went for the joyride, to try to clear it out of my mind, to not think about it, which it did help to an extent. But when I got back home, I was depressed all over again. And ultimately, I cried myself to sleep last night because I got to thinking about my grandpa and all my mom's brothers and sisters and all my aunts and uncles who passed away on the Perkins side. Now there's only 2 out of 10 kids left. My cousins who've died. And I voice kind of breaks up a little bit talking about this, but I'm thinking about all the people that I've lost, all my relatives and all my loved ones who have died in a very short period of time. And we've lost so many people, and it's been absolute hell for us. We've been struggling. And I'm always, I put on a happy face and smile, pretend that everything is okay all the time. And it's not okay, ever. It's not. We're still struggling with my grandpa dying. I mean, it's been 3 months. It's still fresh to us. It's still new. and we're having one hell of a time trying to get beyond it, trying to look for happier days, better days, brighter days. We are struggling immensely trying to overcome the sadness and the grief. And I think it's safe to say that Dad and I may potentially be slipping into a depression because I've been finding it difficult lately to be happy about anything or happy for anything for any reason. And it's been really hard. But every day I get out of bed and I try to find something that's going to help me get through the day, something I can smile about, something I can laugh about, something that'll cheer me up, anything at all. And most days I struggle because I'm trying so desperately to find the happiness that I've been looking for this whole time. And it's been hard. And that is a lot of light coming into my camera lens. But it's been difficult. It's been really extremely difficult for us. Now, I don't want to speak for my dad because he may be doing better than I am or taking it better than I am. I can't speak for him. But for myself, I'm having just a very difficult time. All my mom's brothers and sisters are gone. I have wonderful memories of my aunts and uncles. I have wonderful memories of my grandpa who just passed away. I have that memory I shared with all of you about Richard. My cousins who passed away, I wasn't really close with my cousins who passed away on my mom's side. Like my cousin Brian, we were never close, but he was one of my good cousins. I always talked with him. He was always happy to see me. I was always happy to see him. We had gotten along like we were long lost brothers. I mean, but he died tragically and very quickly. He was only 42, I think. He was very young. And there's just been a lot of shit going on. And there's been a lot of loss in my family. And I've been struggling like hell. And he's been struggling. I know he's been struggling. And the proof of that is because each and every single day since my grandpa passed away, we've been watching Westerns. Every fucking day, religiously, we've been watching Westerns. Now, this may be a coping mechanism for my dad because grandpa loved watching Westerns. If this is a coping mechanism for my dad, then so be it. I let him watch all the Westerns he wants. I have a TV in my room. If I want to watch something different, I know where my bedroom is. I know how to work a fucking TV. I'll watch something different. But for whatever the reason that, because dad watches Westerns, we've never watched Westerns like this before. Like, okay, once in a blue moon, my dad sees Gunsmoke or Big Valley or How the West Was Won or Wagon Train or Rawhide or The Rifleman. Okay, he'll put it on. He'll watch it, he'll kick back and watch it. But ever since grandpa died, it has been every single day. Dad used to watch Jerry Springer. He used to watch, and I get emotional talking about this because this is really difficult for us. He used to watch Jerry Springer. He used to watch the court shows. He used to watch all different kinds of shows. And lately, for the past 3 months, it's been nonstop Westerns. I'm not complaining. I'm not. If this is one way for my dad to cope with my grandpa's loss, then so be it. I'll let him do whatever he needs to do, and it'll help him. Because I miss grandpa too. I miss him a lot. And it's been absolute hell. Like I said, I go on Facebook, I put on a happy face and smile and pretend that everything's okay. And I, of course, I communicate with my friends. I keep in touch with my friends. We socialize and all that, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same. There's no amount of anything good in this world that could ever erase the pain of losing someone that you love and care about. And unexpectedly, and not knowing how and why it happened, but suddenly it happens and there's no explanation for it. So for the rest of our lives, we're going to be left hanging in the balance, never knowing how Grandpa died. And I know this is difficult for Dad to talk about, which is why he just got up and walked away. I know it's difficult for him. He went to the bathroom. I know it's difficult for him, and it's why I don't really like to talk about it. But I'm struggling too. It's been hard for us. But like I said, I'm trying to find ways to cope as well. I try to find things that'll make me laugh, things that'll make me smile. You know, I communicate with friends, like I said, whether they be in Canada or Mexico or wherever the fuck they live. I communicate with them, and these people who say that I have no friends, you are absolutely fucking wrong. And that includes my brother who said that I have no friends. Well, he's fucking wrong too. I got lots of friends from everywhere, and they help me. They help me get through the difficult times. Now, I made a video a few days ago talking about the fear of death, and I hope you had a chance to watch it. I'm not afraid of it. And I outlined the reasons why I'm no longer afraid of death. If you watch the video, you'll know why. And yes, I talk about atheism, the reason why I stopped being afraid. But there's a whole nother component to why I'm not afraid of death anymore. Because the people that we have lost, all the people, and it doesn't matter how close they were to you or not, all the people that we have lost between the three of us sitting in this room, life has gotten darker. And I don't know if I should be speaking for you guys. I don't know if I should be putting words into your mouths or putting thoughts into your head if you're not thinking and feeling this. But in my view, life stopped being fun. It stopped being interesting. We stopped looking forward to doing things because the people that we would love to hear from and the people that we would love to go and visit, sit down and talk with and visit with and have coffee with and laugh over jokes and talk about shit. We would talk about shit all the time. The people we laugh with and joke with all the time, those people are gone for fucking ever. And they're never coming back. So now we are all in a position thinking, what good is life if we don't have the people that we love and care about? Those people are gone. How do we go? Yeah, how do we go on living our lives without these people that enriched our lives? How do we do that?
It's just like with Aunt Joanne, okay? Yeah, Uncle Mark comes around because we're the only ones that actually talk to him. And we'll cut and visit with him. We have cousins, Aunt Joanne's kids over there, any of those guys, they don't even stop and say, hi, how you doing? Are you still living? No. Like,
none of them do.
Like Bob, boy.
None of them do. None of them come over.
Any of them.
No. And it's really hard.
It's sad.
It's sad. It's sad that the relatives that we have, and it's not just relatives, it's friends too. The people who are around, in this case, we're going to use relatives, for the sake of an argument. Relatives who are still around don't invite us over. They don't come over here. They don't acknowledge us.
Oh.
Hey, whatever.
Oh, they do come around. Hey, vehicles.
But the point to that is that the people who actually would come over here to visit, or they would invite us to their house to visit, to have coffee, to have a pop, to watch TV, to talk about things, to bullshit, joke around with them, not take offense to every little thing. Those people are gone. They're gone forever. And trying to move on in life without those people is difficult. So when I say that I'm no longer afraid of death, that it doesn't mean I'm ready to die. I don't want to die for a very long time. I'm only 36 years old. Yeah, you never know. But the point is, just because I say I'm not afraid to die doesn't mean I'm ready to die. It just means that when that time comes, First of all, there's nothing I'm going to do to stop it. I'm not going to live forever. Secondly, I wouldn't want to live forever, because could you just imagine living forever and watching everybody around you die and you have to stay? That's kind of what it feels like now. Everybody around me died, is what it feels like. Everybody around us is dying off, and we're left by ourselves. We're alone. And that hurts a lot.
And there's another thing too, Jared. If let's say we did get invited over to our relatives, what would you say? That's just it. What would you say to them? Because you haven't seen them in such a long time.
And when you see them in public, they don't talk to you anyway.
What would you say to them?
They go in the other direction.
What would you say to them? Either you're not good enough, or they act like you're better.
Yeah. It's always something. Yeah, my Uncle Mark comes over here.
Oh, yeah.
My Uncle Mark Perkins.
Yeah,
Yeah, he wanted to have dinner with us, or he was going to bring food over to prepare.
which we don't need it, but
Yeah,
if that's what he wants to do.
but if that's his way of just wanting to visit, which he doesn't have to bring anything. He doesn't have to bring anything but himself. That's always enough.
We always got stuff to do.
Uncle Mark, come over. It's not about food.
No,
If you want to come over to visit, just bring yourself. You don't have to bring anything
bring your
else.
ass over.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him come over and visit with us.
Granted, I don't care much for the whining and the
No,
complaining,
but
but it's still Uncle Mark.
he's
It's
the
still
only one-
company,
He's the only one that comes over.
and nobody else comes over.
My brother Tim don't even come over no more.
But anyway, I don't want to get into this,
Yeah.
specific relatives and such, whatever. I'm talking about people who are dead and gone, the ones that actually made life fun, the ones who made life worth living.
So remember things back then was doing with them.
Just like I was at my mom's like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was at my mom's house up on the other side of Mount Pleasant, and we got to talking about Uncle Bill, my Uncle Bill James. He was an atheist. He was an atheist, okay? And when Uncle Bill died, I remember it too. I remember because Mom mentioned this. I remember it. My Uncle Bill was an atheist, and because his funeral was in Ithaca, and my Aunt Kathy, I called her Muff because her last name was Moffat at the time, or it was before she married Uncle Bill. Her last name was Moffat. That was her married name. And Muff says Bill would be so pissed if he found out that a preacher was praying over his body, because Uncle Bill was not religious. Uncle Bill was an atheist. I don't know if he was a soft atheist or a hard atheist, meaning that hard atheism means that you're claiming that there is in fact no God. Soft atheist is someone who says, I have no evidence for a God. There's a difference. They're just two different things. Uncle Bill, I don't know which version of atheism Uncle Bill was, but he was an atheist. He did not believe that whatever made him was going to venture off into some, eternal paradise in the sky. He didn't believe that. But I remember that when, because Mom mentioned it, and I actually remember Aunt Kathy saying that. She says Uncle Bill would be so pissed. Granted, she was drunk, but she says Bill would be so pissed if he found out.
I can remember the day that Bill told me he had cancer and he was dying.
Yeah.
No, you're not. He's
Yeah.
dying, but he did.
Yeah.
He told me.
Yeah, my Uncle Bill, when he found out he had cancer, he broke the news to my dad.
It was funny because we were sitting in his camper, and
Yeah.
he says, "Wait, you care if I light one up?" I said, "Go ahead, it's your camper.
Yeah.
Go ahead, smoke that joint. I don't care."
Yeah.
He says, "Do you want something?" I said, "No, Bill, I don't do it, but hey,
Yeah.
come on, buddy.
Yeah. Light up.
Your camper. Don't ask me.
Don't need
I
my
just
permission.
smoke it up."
It's your
He
camper.
did. We sat out there, drank a beer with him, and he smoked his joint. I drank a beer, and
Right.
Meanwhile, Dad's getting the contact.
I got a contact. But it was all
And then Uncle Bill told Dad, he says, I'm dying, Wayne. Shut up. Hey. Shut up. I'll wait until they quit bickering down there. Anyway, that's what Uncle Bill told Dad. He says, I'm dying, Wayne. And Dad says, "Oh, bullshit. You're not dying. Don't, no, you're not. Don't talk like that." And he's, "No,
Was it 2 months later?
I'm dying, Wayne. That's it. I'm dying."
2 months later, he was gone.
And then, yeah, 2 months later, that was it.
Gone.
And I remember Uncle Bill. I remember when they lived in North Star. It's a little town near Ithaca, Michigan.
Fire right there.
And they don't have the blinking light in town anymore.
There was a little fire there being very cool, too.
I'm right, but that blinking light that used to be there, they took it out.
Yep.
Well, I remember going to visit Aunt Kathy and Uncle Bill when they lived in that house on the corner of Baldwin and Buchanan, right in North Star. And Uncle Bill's sitting at the table. He's got his joint, and he's got his guitar because he could play guitar like nobody's business. And he had and Aunt Kathy was passed out drunk. She was sitting at the kitchen table like this with her head back. And then when she kind of woke up a little bit and she says, "I would be so tickled if you come and stay a weekend with Aunt Muff." And Uncle Bill kind of nudged her with his foot. He says, "God damn it, Kathy, if the boy don't want to stay here, he don't have to fucking stay here."
Yep, I remember
And
that.
I'm laughing like, "Oh shit." And
You passed out again.
and then she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she passes out again. It's like, oh man. And he's sitting there, he's got his joint in his mouth and a can of beer, and he's strumming his guitar. And oh man, the memories.
Memories with Bill,
I miss them so much. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I can remember the awesome times that we had. And matter of fact, even way before I was born, my mom was telling me a story about Hoover's Corners Bar out on Allen and Carlin. For those of you who are familiar with Hoover's Corners Bar, we used to get the Chuck specials when I was a kid. Well, Chuck, his nickname was Suds. And when my dad, when my mom was about, I'd say 11 years old, she went in there with my Aunt Kathy, and she was, I'd say she was in her early 20s. It was about 1973 when Mom was in there. And, at back then, you only had to be 18 to drink. Well, Aunt Kathy was sitting there drinking a rum and Coke, and Mom just wanted a Coke. My mom says, "I'll just have a Coke, Suds. That's all I want, a Coke." Well, not thinking about it, they put rum in my mom's Coke, and Mom had taken a sip, and she's only 11 years old, and and she takes it back. She says, "Suds, we got a problem." He says, "What's wrong, Ray?" And Mom says, "You put something in my Coke. It doesn't taste like Coke." And he took a sip. He says, "Oh my God." He says, "I am so sorry." He says, you free pop for you on the house for the rest of the night. And because she told my Aunt Kathy, she says, "Sis, this doesn't taste very good." And Kathy says, "What? It's Coke," and no, it's not Coke. They put something in Mom's drink. I think it was rum. And Mom's like, "Suds, this doesn't taste right." And so, yeah, Mom told me about that little story. Yeah. But I remember when Uncle Bill and Aunt Kathy used to live on M21 right next to the auto parts store, right there in Ovid. I remember that, right on the curve. I was little, but God, I remember that like it was yesterday. But anyway, just kind of rambling a little bit. I remember a lot of awesome times. I remember when Uncle Rick had that old muscle car, and it had the lights going around it in the interior. I forget what car that was, but that was a fucking awesome car. And they were living on Furden Road at the time. They were living out on Furden Road where my grandma Beulah used to live. And he let me go inside of it once. And I'll never forget it. Lights all the way around the interior and the inside. It was beautiful. And, before Uncle Rick passed away, I brought that up to him. I said, "I remember that car where you had the lights going around in the interior." He says, "Oh, yeah." He says, "I'm shocked you remember that." Fucking right, I remember that. And I remember, when I used to 420, when I used to smoke weed. Oh, big shocker. Jer Bear smoked pot? Fuck yeah, I did. out at Uncle Mark's when Uncle Keith was still alive. And Uncle Keith, we were all standing out by Uncle Mark's pole barn. And they lit up, and Uncle Mark took a hit. Uncle Mark took a hit. He passed it to Uncle Keith, and Uncle Keith kind of went like this towards me, and I said, "Okay." He goes, "No shit, nephew. All right, right on." And I passed it back to Uncle Mark. Here you go, Uncle Mark. I smoked a joint with Uncle Mark and Uncle Keith. So those are the moments that I have with.
Bad experience.
Well, that's another story, but I'm talking about the memories I had with my uncles. That's a memory that I will always remember. Yeah, and Uncle Dale out the Davis reunion, the funniest thing ever. That was the coolest, I would say. So 1 year for the Davis family reunion. This was back in the 2000s, like 2003 or something like that. It was before he passed away. He was sitting in his van, and Uncle Dale was an alcoholic. He tipped the bottle quite a bit, or the can, depending. And he was sitting in his van, and I noticed him, and I walked up to the van, and I said, "Well, hey, Uncle Dale, how you doing?" And he says, "Well, hello, young man." And he puts his hand down to shake my hand, and I take a whiff. I said, "Oh," I said, "the party's going on in here, isn't it, Uncle Dale?" And he says, "Oh, yeah." And he took his can of beer, which was sitting between his legs, and he just, he took a big swig of it, and he was smoking his reefer. And it's like, more power to you, Uncle Dale. I'll never forget it. I said, "Oh yeah, the real party's happening in here, huh, Uncle Dale?" And he says, "Oh yeah." He took his can of beer and that was Uncle Dale. He was quite the character himself. See, I got all these memories from years past with my aunts and uncles. Oh, he was quite the ladies' man, Uncle Dale was. Yeah. 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 There's so many different memories I have of relatives, and now that they're all gone, all I have are the memories, which is fine, which is okay, and nobody can take it away from me. But it's just they're not here anymore to create new memories. There's no one here to create new memories, and it just feels like everybody's dying around us, and we're struggling immensely with that. And I lost my friend Tasha last week, Tasha Kindy. She was only 35 years old, and they're having a celebration of life for her September 17th, I think it is. I'll have to recheck my sources again just to be sure, but they're going to have a celebration of life for her on Gordonville Road out by Midland, and I'm going to be there for that because I was friends with her for many years, 25 years. When I first went to Merrill School, it was back in 1996, I think it was 96 or 7. So it was about 25 years, because it was about 1997. And I remember meeting her for the first time. She had her hair was cut right at, the bangs right at the eyebrows. And she had like shoulder length hair. She was a cutie when she was a kid. And she was about 9 and I was 10 or 11, something like that. And we became friends instantly. We hit it off instantly. And I had a lot of friends in Merrill too, and I'm still friends with a lot of those people on Facebook. But we kept in touch. And Tasha told me that she had cancer. She was sick with cancer. And ultimately, it had taken her life last week. And I'm still having a hard time with that too. And no, it was 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. It was 2 weeks ago. Tasha Kindy passed away 2 weeks ago on the 14th. And I'm still having a hard time with that too, because, like I said, I've just known her for so many years, and then suddenly gone So there's a lot of pain and a lot of heartbreak. And no matter what I do to try to alleviate the problem, it just seems like it gets worse. Because time goes on and I'm getting older and we're all getting older. But inevitably we're marching to an unavoidable death. We all are. There's nothing you're going to do, to stop that. And, I'm not afraid of it, but I oftentimes think about, gee, am I going to die young? Because I'm still, I'm 36 years old. I'm still relatively young, compared to my other friends who are maybe, in their 40s or 50s or whatever. It's, because they consider that as old, and it's not old at all. It's all still very young, but compared to them, I'm relatively younger, or as young as they are. But I wonder, like, any number of things could happen. I could step outside in the next 5 minutes, have a heat stroke. I could get in my van and go uptown and get in an accident, which I hope that doesn't happen. But it can happen at any time. We're all hanging on by a single thread. That's why I think the important thing to do is to take every minute you have and don't waste a single minute of your life worrying about what could happen. That's what I mentioned in that video that I posted called Fear of Death. You can't take every minute worrying about what could happen, because you're just going to waste your life away, and it's not going to make one bit of difference. It's not going to change anything. So I guess just live your life and enjoy every moment. I guess that's how I would wrap that up. And that's what I'm trying to do. I struggle with it because, like I said, I miss everybody, and it feels like I'm alone a lot of the time. But I'm doing the best I can, and I'm trying to keep this guy in line and keep his spirits up and keep him laughing and keep him smiling. And this lady over here, well, she's just a pain in the ass.
Well, I have pretty much the same issues as you guys with my mom.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is.
It is. It's really hard.
It was February 22nd.
Yeah.
And I keep telling myself that I want her to come back.
Yeah.
Just like my dad. But I realize they can't.
I want all my loved ones to come back, all of them, but that's just not going to happen. And with Grandpa, that was totally unexpected.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 months already, and it feels like it's been 300 years. And I know, we were going to Saginaw on Friday, and we went by there, and Dad says, well, we should go back there just to check and see if everything's okay. And I said, Dad, why? Everything's fine. If there's a problem, you'll get the phone call. Yeah. Well, we were already, coming out of Saginaw, or we were on our way back from Saginaw. And then Dad gets a phone call saying, well, meet me out at Dad's. No, we were in St. Charles. We're gonna start the yard sale. We're gonna start pricing things. And I told Dad, I said, just take me home first. Because I was back there. I actually went back there, and Grandpa's house looks bigger. It's because it's empty, and it looks much bigger than what it is. And when Dad says, come around this side. So I run around the kitchen window, and all of Grandpa's stickers are still up on his, on that little part of that, where the stove is. But I look down at, and it's like, I gotta go, because it was the area where we found him. And I told Dad, I gotta go. I can't do this. This is hurting me too much. And so I got back in the truck, and I told Dad, I said, I just want out of here. I can't do it. It hurts too much. And the dream I had, I wasn't going to talk about this, but because it's just a dream and it's not real, but it was enough to freak the living fuck out of me. And I woke up in cold sweats. So I dreamt that I was at Grandpa's funeral, and he was in the casket, which I knew because he's gone. I knew he was in the casket, but then there was another version of him, like a double grandpa, and he was sitting in the room in the chapel where all of us were sitting, but he was asleep. Like not dead, but he was asleep. And then when I walked in front of him, he kind of opened his eyes a little bit, and I said, "Grandpa, what are you doing?" And he says, "What?" I said, "You're fucking dead over there. What are you doing sitting here?" And he says, "What the hell?" And he stood up and started walking towards the casket. And then Uncle Danny says, "Do you have any idea the fucking hell you put us kids through?" And blah, blah, blah. And that's when an argument ensued. And then after that, I don't remember anything. I woke up. And when I woke up, like I literally jumped up and just, I was in cold sweats. It's like, what the fuck? And it freaked me out. It scared the shit out of me. I will admit it scared me, although it was just a dream, but it was so very realistic and it was vivid. And it scared the crap out of me. And this was at 8:30 on what, Friday morning? No, yesterday morning, Saturday morning. It was yesterday morning when this dream occurred. And that's when I decided, I got to get out of this house. I got to go for a ride somewhere. So that's when I ended up in like 7 different counties, 8 if you include Saginaw County where I live at. It was hard. It was hard yesterday. And the day was just, it started out stupid anyway. I went to get a bowl of cereal. And I posted about this on Facebook. I went to get a bowl of cereal. I opened the lid off the gallon of milk and it was spoiled. And which, by the way, Dad, I dumped it out. That spoiled milk, what was left of it, I dumped it. And then when I went to put the cereal back into the box, some of it went down into my toaster. So I had to turn the toaster upside down and shake it really hard and it would come out. It was those Oreo O's, the cereal called Oreo O's. And it some people thought it was funny and it's like, okay, whatever. But this is, for me, I was irritated as it was. And it's like, I got to get the fuck out of this house. I can't do it. So that's why I was gone for most of the day on Saturday. And today I'm kind of just hanging out here at home. I'm going to be here at home probably until Thursday, unless Dad has other plans in the week. And I'll probably go with him if he wants me to go with him somewhere, unless he's got to go to Grandpa's and I'm not going to Grandpa's. But like if he had any other plans where he wanted to go and do something or whatever, and okay, I'll ride with him. But my van's going to be parked until Thursday. But your van has air conditioning too. Or your truck, I'm sorry. Your truck has air conditioning. I got to get my AC fixed. I don't know. I don't know if it needs recharged or if it just needs Freon or what. I don't know. But, so, I wrote a post last night on Facebook talking about the things that bother me and why I'm kind of just carrying such a heavy load emotionally. And I'm still feeling it today. And I wanted to share that in my Sunday video update because it's important to me. It doesn't have to be important to you necessarily, but to me, it's very important. And I'm having a hard time dealing with a lot of things. And I talked, like I said in that video, I talked about the fear of death, which I'm not afraid of it, but it's just living this life without the people who made life interesting and fun. And you were always excited to see them. You were always excited to, be invited to their house or for them to come over to your house, or, you would meet up casually somewhere out in public, like at a, family gathering or a function or whatever. It would always be fun just to see those people because you knew their personality was unique and they would always bring something different to the table. And boy, did they ever. And those people are no longer with us, unfortunately. And so I'm left sitting here on most days just trying to figure out how I'm going to get through the day and try not to let the depressing things get me down. And I'm trying to find the best and the good in every single day. Like I said, I've got a big network of friends that I still talk to on occasion. The most inspirational people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing and getting to meet. And there's more people that I have to meet, and I'm looking forward to it. And, so in that regard, I guess I'm just kind of struggling with losing people that I've loved and cared about for so many years. And the more potent recent loss still 3 months later is my grandpa Fuller. And it's going to bother us for quite some time. But moving on, because most of this Sunday video update consisted mainly of death talk, as we got 15 minutes or 14 minutes left in the show, I wanted to use this time to mention that at 5 o'clock on this channel, there will be a new poem video. I had written some new poetry, but at 5 o'clock, there will be one new poem video available. It's called Avenue A. I don't want to give away too much more information or details about the poem, but it will be available at 5 o'clock Eastern time. So it'll be an hour after this Sunday video update ends. You will get to read the poem that I had written. There are two other poems, Mama Shepherd's Pie, which I was really inspired just by my mother's cooking. And there were a couple of things in the poem that were actually true. And while as a poet, I really don't like to give away what's true and what's not, I can tell you that there is a line in the poem called Mama Shepherd's Pie. A couple of things that are true about that poem. First of all, yes, my mother's shepherd's pie is absolutely fucking just delicious. And secondly, we did sleep on the kitchen floor on Chapin Road. And this guy over here can verify that.
Yep.
We ran out of heat one winter, and
We had no heater to get.
Dad rigged up, no, you rigged up a curtain
Yeah.
to partition off the kitchen from the dining room, and we slept on the floor in front of our kitchen stove.
And it was warm.
And that really happened. It wasn't a little heater, it was our oven.
And it worked good.
And boy, did it kept that floor nice and toasty, and we slept really good. Mom on one side, Dad on the other, and then me and Jay in between. Yep.
Yeah, that was all right.
So I did write about that in the poem called Mama Shepherd's Pie, because my mom has an excellent shepherd's pie. I almost said disgusting. No, I'm sorry, Mom. Your shepherd's pie is not disgusting. It's delicious. I don't know why I said this, was thinking disgusting. It's not disgusting. My mom is a hell of a cook. I just got ahead of myself talking. But her shepherd's pie is absolutely delicious. And there was another poem I'd written called Jerry the Bear. Which I just a little poem. I had the idea, and it's like, well, an idea is an idea, so I'll just pen it and get it done. And I made that available on this channel as well. So at 5 o'clock today, 5 o'clock Eastern time, there is a new poem video that will be available called Avenue A. And it's only on this channel. I didn't even share it on Facebook yet. I might, depending on my mood. But yeah, I've been doing some writing. I went to Saginaw on Friday with Dad, and I did a road list in my journal, which I haven't done in quite some time. For those of you who don't know what a road list is, it's just a list of the roads that we take, the direction we go on the road, and the other roads we cross, that kind of thing. I've been writing journals for going on 23 years this November. And I've written a lot of road lists. I've written about a lot of things, about a lot of people for many, many years. So that's just kind of a little taste of what I do, writing journals. Plan for this week, I will be paying bills on Thursday. I don't know what lies in store from now until Wednesday, but I know on Thursday I will be paying bills. Got to go take care of September's bills.
Ooh, whoopee.
Yeah, pain in the fucking ass, paying bills, but that's what adults do. And of course, the chat log's open. You got like maybe 10 minutes left to get in your hellos or whatever. But as I always say, if you're gonna come and being a dick, don't bother, because I will extinguish you in seconds flat. But if you want to be nice and come in and say hello, yeah, come in and say hi. Always happy to have conversations with people who are willing to have conversations. And to the one person watching, you're faithful. I appreciate you. I don't know, Dad, did you have anything planned for this week? Because I can't think of anything.
Paying bills and going over there, Dad.
Because I thought you were going to Grandpa's today.
Well, I don't know yet. From what Uncle Danny told me.
Oh, Uncle Danny's got a call.
They'll let me know.
I don't know if we're ever going to get over this. I don't think we will. But I think if we ever do get over it, it's going to be, I'll always love Grandpa, and I'll always have fond memories of my grandpa, but that's all very subjective too. Because my dad may not have good memories of my grandpa, and that's fine too. Because the differing generations, my dad knows how Grandpa was when Dad was growing up. I never went to Grandpa's a lot as a kid because my grandpa, and I'm not saying this to be a dick, but I'm saying it because it's true. My grandpa was very pretentious. Whenever he knew that the kids were coming over, he would hide stuff. Hide the cookies, hide the candy, hide this, hide that. The kids are going to ask for it. Hide it. That's why I never went to Grandpa Fuller's a lot as a child, because he was just like that with his grandkids. It's not to say I didn't love the guy. Of course I loved him. It's just, I don't know. He was different. He was very different with his grandkids. I wish he could have been better.
Your own biological grandkids.
Yeah.
Other ones,
Yeah. The Roses, he treated them like roses. Literally and figuratively. He treated them like they were the greatest thing since sliced bread. But his own biological grandchildren, including myself, I don't know. He wasn't really fond of us coming over to see him. And so I was never close to my grandparents when I was a kid. I lived with my grandma for a short time because we were homeless. And that was his mom, Charlene. We lived with them for a little while, her and Grandpa Bill Bearer. And then we finally moved out. But I was never I never had that connection with my grandparents where, I was, they never set me on their lap and bounced me on their leg, or they never spoiled me. They never treated me or acknowledged me like I was one of their grandkids. I never had that experience. So, I don't know. Now my grandma Beulah, because she died when I was only 3 months old. So of course I don't remember my grandma Beulah. But she held me and kissed me all over my face. And I don't know. She wasn't willing to hand me back to my mom. My grandma, she looked at me and he is just so perfect. He is just such a perfect little cutie pie. And she was kissing me all over my face and hugging me and holding me. And yeah, so I don't remember Grandma Beulah. I would have loved to remembered her. I wish she could have lived a little while longer for me to get to know her. but she passed away on October 7th, 1986, as a result of congestive heart failure. She was 61 years old, and I was only 3 months old, so I wouldn't remember her. Jay would remember her. Of course, mom and dad remember her, but I was too little to remember her. So there's a little more family history. Just in case I hadn't shared that before, I'm sharing it now. So we're getting down to the final minutes of the Sunday video update here. I appreciate all of you, all one of you watching. We got 4 minutes now left of the show. Amy, was there anything you wanted to add?
Just I don't like Owasso Hospital.
You don't like Owasso Hospital?
Oh no, I had it out with him last night. You missed it.
Amy's got this lump on her elbow, and it's retaining fluid. I think it's infection or pus or something. And instead of actually, I don't know, they didn't do anything for it, did they? Just give it antibiotics?
Not even that.
They didn't even give you antibiotics for it? So how do you treat it?
The thing they did is gave me a trazodone shot or Toradol shot
Yeah.
and wrapped it up.
Wow. All that.
Follow up with your doctor if it doesn't get any better.
Oh, God.
And then in my discharge papers, they give me a surgeon's number.
Sounds like Owasso, huh?
So it's one of them where you got to go to your doctor. You got to get a referral to go see this other doctor.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Dad to come back out. I don't know.
What the issue was is, what time did we leave yesterday to go to ER?
I don't remember.
I think it was before, a little after noon, about 1 o'clock by the time we got there.
Yeah.
I sat there till 5.
Yeah.
And I had told them,
That's Owasso for
I
you.
want to hurry up and get this done so we can leave.
Right.
No, they weren't listening. Dad
Well-
was getting irritated too.
Dad, we got 3 minutes. You got anything you want to add before we wrap this up? Well, I don't want to wrap it up without allowing you to say what you need to say here. You know? Yeah, watch your neighbors. Keep an eye on your neighbors, because those pesky neighbors.
I'm also going to say peace out, be safe, and whatever you do.
Bump the mic here. I'm adjusting this thing. But anyways, we are down to the final 2 minutes of the Sunday video update. And I just wanted to thank all of you for joining me. The last Sunday video update of the month of August. And we will be back on the 4th. Sunday is the 4th. September 4th. And before I go, because this is going to be important, whether I want to admit that it is or not, we are coming up on Childhood Cancer Awareness Month on Thursday. I highly doubt that I'm going to be engaged in anything, like the did you know and the percentage and all that stuff. That everybody else does that, not me. I will probably talk about that on Facebook. I'll probably give examples and show paperwork, documentation, and share pictures of my battle scars, and I'll engage in that. I'll talk about that all day long. But as far as anything else, like, did you know that 40% of this or 90% of this? No, I don't care. I don't concern myself with that. Now, it's not saying that I don't care about the kids. I do, but I'm not an advocate anymore. So.
And the way you do your charity is like if they have an ice cream thing for the cancer awareness.
Yeah.
You're at
ice
that.
cream socials or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, like lemonade stands, which I've done. I've volunteered at hospitals. I've done it all, man. I've done it all, man. I survived. I went through chemo, radiation, the whole 9 yards. But I'm not going to be getting into the discussions of, did you know? Yes, I'm aware. I already fucking knew. I'm not going to do that. So that's in a nutshell. Basically, I'm not going to be engaged in this semantics crap. I'm just going to talk about what I recall from my checkups and what I had to go through and all that jazz. But anyway, it is officially 4 o'clock. We just hit the 1 hour mark. I love y'all very much. Have a great week. I'll try to have a better day and a better week. I thank you all for listening and indulging me for the past hour. See you on Facebook. See you in the real world. And I'll see you next week. Sunday, September 4th. Much love and take care.